my dear students, how are you doing today? Hope you are doing great. So, do you know me? No, right? Okay, my name is Nachita and I'm your new science teacher. So, does everyone like science? Science is a very interesting subject because we learn about what our human body is made up of, what are there in our surroundings, how do we live. All this we come to know when we learn science. So you must be eager to learn science, okay? Are you ready for the science classes? How is the e-learning classes going on? Your friends are not there and so you cannot talk in between the classes, right? You have to pay full attention. You'll see your friends once all the situation goes and then when we move back to school teaching, okay? Till then we'll have all these online classes and we will learn something new every day. Isn't that really wonderful? Okay? So, we are going to start our grade 6 science. In the first part of the textbook, we have 5 chapters. And the first chapter is the Casket of Life. So, you must be wondering, what is casket? Isn't it? Where do we put something that is so close to our heart or something that's very valuable, something you like so much? Where do you go put this? You or your parents, where do you put something that is so valuable to yourself? We put it in a box, right? We safe keep it, isn't it? Am I right? I'm not able to hear you. Respond to me. Okay, don't wonder why is this teacher asking us to say loudly as if she can hear you. Your parents can hear you if I cannot. Okay? I want you all to be energetic in the class. That is why I am saying to respond to me. Because your friends are not there if you start sleeping in the class to wake you up. Okay? Okay. So casket is something where we put our valuables in. Have you seen your parents having gold stored in a box? I'll show you an example. This is a casket. This is something where you put all your ornaments in. Okay, so this is what is the casket. So our chapter's name is the Casket of Life. That is how our life is safe kept. Okay, so let's begin our chapter. Are you ready? All right. So, have you noticed, do you love animals around you? How many varieties of animals are there? Numerous, right? And some are small, some are big. There is ant, there is elephant, there is camel, then there is giraffe who's tall. See, these are all varieties of animals because ant is small. Okay. The camel has a hump on its back. The giraffe is tall because of its big neck. The elephant is huge, isn't it? But all these are animals and everything is made up of one simple unit. Like we make a house from what? We make house from bricks. We keep bricks together and then we build a house. In the similar manner, all the living things are also created from a fundamental unit of life. And that fundamental unit of life is called the cell. So we'll be learning about cell mainly in this chapter. But before that, we have to learn about some more things which we cannot see with our naked eyes. Wow, interesting, isn't it? So, while explaining it to you, to make it more clear, you can also see the textbook in front of you. Okay, so for some time, I am moving away from the screen and I will bring the textbook to your screen. Okay, so let's move. So dear students, let's start reading the lesson. Lesson number 1, Caskets of Life. Can you see a girl in the picture? Her name is Minu. So let's see what she is saying. So painful at the bite of such a small insect. Minu was walking along the beautiful garden in front of her house, humming a tune. At once, something pricked her. It's so painful. She was surprised when she saw a little black insect on her hand. How tiny the creature is. So, Minu was one day walking along the garden of her house, and she was singing as she was walking. Suddenly, she felt that something pricked her, and it pained her a lot. So she checked what was there, and then she saw a small tiny insect on her hand. Have you also felt that pain when you go to your garden, or maybe inside your house at times, when an ant comes and an ant pricks, it pains, right? So that is what happened. A tiny black insect pricked her, even smaller than an ant. There are so many kinds of plants and animals around us, big, small, of different colors, shapes, and so on. So now let me give you a small activity, okay? If you have not bought your notes, pause the video, go run, take a notebook, come and sit, and then again watch the video, okay? So the question is, try to write down the organisms given below in the order of their size. Let the biggest be the first. So you have seen this triangle which is kept upside down. You have to fill the blank space, right? So there is the goat, elephant, camel, and an horse. The ant is already given as the smallest. You have to fill the rest 4 in the above given spaces. Draw this triangle into your notebook and fill it. Okay? So now you can pause the video, fill it, and then again play back the video. Okay, dear students? I hope every one of you wrote. Check your answers as given like in the picture. So did you check? Very good, children. I hope everyone got it right. If not, no problem. But this is the order. Okay? So can I ask you a question? You are seeing ant in the pyramid, right? And then can you tell me, are they smaller creatures than ant? Or is ant the smallest creature on land? There are more smaller creatures, right? For example, have you seen if you keep ripe mangoes or jackfruit in your kitchen, there comes a small insect called the fruit fly. It's so small, isn't it? That is something we can see with our naked eyes. Okay, but there will be small organisms in air and water also, right? But how can we see them then? To see small creatures like fruit fly and ant, we can use an object called the magnifying glass. Students, this is the magnifying glass. Can you see? The small letters are shown in big by using the magnifying glass.
But then how can we see the organisms which are there but we cannot see through our naked eyes? And what are they called? But for that also, that is why science is so fascinating. There is a discovery called the microscope, through which we can see things that are not visible to our naked eyes. And does anyone know what these organisms are called?
They are called the microorganisms.
What are microorganisms?
Organisms that cannot be seen with naked eyes and are only visible through a microscope are called microorganisms. Do you know some examples of them? Some examples are bacteria, protozoa, and amoeba.
Everyone likes doing experiments, right? So now we will do an experiment. But we are not able to see each other. How will we do it? Miss will play a video. Hope you have all read this page when I told you to. Now Miss will play a video where this activity is being done. But we'll be seeing different microorganisms in that other than the amoeba, paramecium and euglena given in the textbook. So let's see the video. So my dear students, we saw protozoa and bacteria, isn't it? Paramecium is also a protozoa. Okay, so I have a small activity for you. You have to write down in your notebook what is microorganisms and also draw the amoeba, paramecium and euglena in your book. Easy, right? So in the beginning of the class, I had told you that there is a fundamental unit of life. What was it? It was the cell. See, tiny units of the body. The body is made up of many small units. Even the body of a tiny ant is made up of thousands of such small units. If an ant is made up of thousands, then how much will be there in our body? Think about it. These small units are called the cells. And they are of two types. There are organisms with only one cell. They are called the unicellular organisms. And the examples for that, amoeba, paramecium, bacteria, etc. And if they have more than one cell, they are called the multicellular organisms. Animals and plants are multicellular organisms. Why is that unicellular organisms are so small and the ant is larger than them? Do cells grow up with the child? What do you think? When you grow up, will your cells also grow? We will see it through a experiment. In this experiment, we are checking the cheek cells of two people. But we are not together, so we cannot do this experiment. So I'll show you a small video of the experiment, how this is seen, how the cheek cell will be did while doing the experiment. Okay?
To prepare stained temporary mount of human cheek cells. Materials required: slide, cover slip, toothpick, glycerine, methylene blue solution, blotting paper, compound microscope, dropper, water. Procedure: take a clean slide and in the middle of it pour a drop of water with the help of a dropper. Take a clean toothpick and use it to scrape the inner wall of your cheek gently so as to scrape the epithelial tissue. Mix the scrap on the toothpick in the drop of water placed on the slide. Pour a drop of methylene blue solution on the mixture on the slide and mix it thoroughly. This will stain the epithelial tissue. After 2 to 3 minutes, remove the excess of water and methylene blue solution by using the corner of a blotting paper. Do it carefully, otherwise the material will also be removed. Pour a drop of glycerine on the contents of slide and spread it. Take a dry and clean cover slip and place it on the slide. Remove the extra material surrounding the slide with a blotting paper. Examine the slide under a compound microscope. Observation: large number of flat cells with irregular boundaries are seen. Each cell has a thin cell membrane. A distinct, deeply stained nucleus is seen in each cell. Space between the plasma membrane and the nucleus is filled with granular material called cytoplasm. There are no intercellular spaces between the cells. No cell wall is visible. Inference: the examination of material on the slide suggests that it is an animal cell because the cell wall and prominent vacuoles are not seen.
So now you saw the experiment. But the experiment is not done with two people.
Miss just wanted to show you how does it look through a microscope.
And here we have used a toothpick instead of toothbrush to take out the cheek cells.
Hope everyone understood this. As we grow, our cells multiply. They don't grow big.
They multiply as we grow. Different parts of the cell are also shown in the video. We will learn more about it later. Now we have different types of cells.
Everything has its own wide varieties, and cells are also of many types. There are round ones, there are long ones, the nerve cells, the muscle cells. There are so many different varieties of cells. We will learn more about it in the upcoming classes. My dear students, our human body is also made up of cells, as I told you. And this is a picture of your skin. Okay, and the skin is also made up of cells because the fundamental unit of our body is cell. And obviously, cells are the smallest unit of life. Here, these are some notes which I'm briefing what I taught in the whole video so that you can make notes and study easily. The cells are very small and we use a microscope to see them. Hooke discovered the cell and also made the first microscope. Small organisms are made up of one cell and they are known as unicellular organisms. Big organisms are made up of more than one cells or millions of cells called multicellular. This is a euglena. This is a unicellular organism, bacteria, and this is the leaf is a multicellular organism. Now, what are the jobs of a cell? It obtains nutrients and energy needed for the body, removes the wastes, grow and reproduce to give new cells. That is when we grow up. And what these cells do? Muscle cells helps in moving our body. Skin cells helps in protecting our body. The plant cells absorb sunlight energy to produce their own food. Isn't that what synthesis needs? Sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Now there is some cell theory. That cell theory states that all living things are made of one or more cells. Cells are the basic units of life, and all cells come from other living cells. This is a brief of what I taught in the video. There is one more note. The cell is the basic and structural and functional units of living organisms. Write this down in your notebook. And also write the cell theory. All known living things are made up of one or more cells. All living cells arise from pre-existing cells by division. That is, they do not grow, instead they multiply, as I told you in the video. The cell is the basic unit of the structure and function in all living organisms. Now, Robert Hooke discovered the cell in 1665. Anton van Leeuwenhoek observed living cell for the first time in 1674. Robert Brown discovered the nucleus inside the cell in 1883. We told that an organism that is made up of only one cell is called as unicellular organisms. Write this down also in your notebook. And these are some examples. Euglena, paramecium, and yeast. Paramecium is also a protozoa. Yeast is something everyone has in their homes. Multicellular organisms. An organism that is made up of more than one cell is called multicellular organism. Plants, animals, and fungus are some examples. Multicellular organisms under microscope. So when we keep a leaf under the microscope, it is visible as given in this figure. And our muscles, when viewed under the microscope, can be seen as shown in this figure. At the end of the video, I had told that there are different types of cells. And that is why this is given here. That is the size of the cells. Cells vary in size. Most cells are very small and they are called microscopic. But some may be very large, called the macroscopic. The unit used to measure the size of a cell is 1 micrometer. That is 1 by 1000 millimeter. And the smallest cell, known as the mycoplasma, has a size of 0.1 micrometer, and the largest cell is the ostrich egg, which has size of 18 centimeter. So today's session is over. I hope you all understood the class and have all written down the notes. So if you have any doubts or clarifications, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll clear it for you. So see you again in another class next week. Till then, bye, take care and stay safe.